Hello and welcome to a special episode. I had a question about how I do the photos and how I put them all together. And so I just thought that while I was doing it for our first decade in the 1400s, that I would just show you an example. So all I have done is loaded up my game, and then I've come up here to manage households. Now, I made a list on a separate sheet of paper of all of my families just because I don't want to miss anybody. And right now it does look like you can see somebody wearing a robe, but they're not actually wearing that when we go into their family. I'll show you that in just a second. So I am on Milo Bell's family. So I come down here and it's just the three of them. I click edit and it pulls up straight to here. You don't have to worry about what they're wearing because it's automatically going to put them in their everyday wear over here. So I do need to pay attention to the fact that because there's only three people in this family, it has zoomed in some on them. So it cuts them off at their leg. And I don't want that. We need to be able to see their full body. So I come in here, I search for Doberman because I want the dogs. These large dogs are the ones that you need in your family to make them back up. Okay, so now you can see the full body of everybody in the thing. You don't worry about the dogs. They're going to go away. And then I have already typed in the words family and 1410 and Amanda Plays Sims and Ultimate Decades Challenge. So those are already typed in. And so all I do is write the family name and then paste that in there so I don't have to retype it over and over. And then you share household to the gallery. And that's it. So and then when you're done, you hit the X and the dogs will leave your family and you'll be back just like you were, as if you never did anything. Then the next family on my list is Gold's family. Here we go, the Blooms. And so I'm going to do the same thing, except there are more people in this family. So there's actually enough to cover, to get their whole body. Now, if I don't like the pose, you hit randomize just like normal. I like this better because our little guy, I forgot his name, Simon, is standing normally and not taking up a ton of extra space there. So I like that. So we're going to leave it and go with this. So nothing has been written down here at all. I think I'm going to put Liam Bloom since his wife is dead. Gold is actually not in this photo. She's dead. Wait, is she wearing glasses? Yes, she is. Okay, so we have to go back out because of this stupid auto glasses thing that they're doing. Is she wearing glasses? Yes. And she's wearing glasses. So I have to come out and make sure nobody has glasses on. Now I have to enter this again. So it's Liam Bloom and then everything that I've already written. And again, I don't want that pose. Let me see if I can get one where he's standing straighter. There we go. That one's better. This gap right here between the two of them, we can actually fix that as well, and I'll show you in the other things. So I'm going to share the household to the gallery, and that's it. So I'm going to keep going through all of them, and then I will be back to check in and show you what we do after this step. So as you can see, I just go through and do the exact same thing to every family that's in our game. So yes, this step gets longer and longer the more you play and the more families that you have. But now let's move over to the next thing we need to do, which is download something if you don't already have it. I feel like my background may be a little bit busy for this, but this is the app that you want. Sim4 Tray Importer. I'm going to put it down here where it's in the water and everybody can see what it's called. It is the Sims 4 Tray Importer, and you literally just Google that and download it. And you generally want the 64-bit unless you're playing some kind of odd version of The Sims, like the Legacy version or something, and then I think you need a different tray importer. But anyway, you're just going to double click and open that once you have downloaded it. So if you haven't downloaded it, pause the game and download it. And then this is what it looks like when you open it up. And you're going to want to be on general, and over here to the side, you will see all those pictures that you just took. So let me get one of my first families. I thought the first family, I did a couple families before I talked to you about it. So the first family I did was Matthias Small. So it's not going to be a problem with him because I literally just have he and his daughter, but you're going to start saving all of these and you're going to click Save Portrait. This is where we're going to have our first issue. So this guy is named Ace Wickerson and this guy is named Ace Wickerson. So your program, when we hit Save Portraits, now also choose where you want to download them. So I'm going to download them into the file where I'm putting all the family pictures for 1410. So that's where I want them to go. So it just downloaded them over there. Let me show you what that looks like. When I go to this folder, it shows me two different pictures of the family pictures. One of them is, let's at least view extra large. Okay. One of them is a 300 by 200. We don't really want this one at all. We want to use the 591 by 394 just because it looks better in the things. But now you'll notice that we do not have Ace Wickerson, the son, and that is because it only picks one person with that name and the other one overwrites that one. So it's like it put down the son first, and then when the dad came along, it overwrote, I don't know how to say it, the father. It did the same thing for Ursa over here. So her mom's name is Ursa and her name is Ursa. So we're missing the son Ace and the daughter Ursa. So we go back over here to fix that problem. We click on the son. That's one of them that we're missing. But instead of clicking up here, we click the three dashes and we say convert to image. And then over here, I can write Ace Wickerson. And I can even do the same thing as his dad, and it will say, do you want to replace it? And then I say no. So it won't let me do it unless I change the name. So I'm just going to put a 1 because I still want the Wickerson family to all be together. So I would rather them have their names. So then I have to do the same thing, convert to image, and I want hers to be her name, but just a 1. So we're going to do the same as her daughter, but then with her name. So now when I come over here, I have the whole Wickerson family. So now we have to do that for every one of our families. Now what we can do, and what I have done in the past, is inside this folder, I have divided mine up by colors because that's how my families are divided. And then I just keep all the colors together, which helps a lot when we're getting ready to build our family. So I'm going to go through and do that really quickly as I'm adding people into this thing. I know I said really quickly, none of this is fast, but at least I will have all the files on my computer and ready to be manipulated / used in whatever way I can use them. Okay, so now after I have them all divided up, I have all of the 591 by 394 families in here. So I have 31 families in here, and I'm going to go back over here, starting with the McOtters, which was where I left off. I'm going to just count and make sure I have 31 and then I didn't miss anybody from over here. Okay, I have 31. So we are done with the tray importer. I did make a new folder for also Maine because I forgot that I've got the Maine family people in there. And so now the next step is just opening up your editing software, whatever you're going to use. I'm going to move this over to the side so that I still have access to the pictures, but it's not on my main screen where I'm trying to show you guys what I do. So next, I'm going to go to my editing software. I use Canva, and you just go to canva.com, and it is pretty easy to figure out what you're doing and like how it all works. I have a thing here where I've just kept all the latest ones that we did, all the last pictures that I took, because I need to use those when I'm comparing like what it looked like before and what it looks like now. So I just kind of scroll through here and look and see what I have. So I do have the yellow. I do have everybody broken up into families. So I've got the main house looking like this. I've got our 1400 picture with the space here to put the number that we're on. And so I just kind of decide this is also like everybody in here together, because I always like to have a strip like that to go on the thumbnail. This is what I use for the thumbnail page. So I go down here and I'm going to just show you how to get them manipulated like this. So if you notice, well, let me add a new page and we'll just start down here with a blank page. So the first thing you have to do is go to uploads and upload your files. And then you will find the place where you saved everything, which I have. I'm just going to do the families right now, but I have the, where is it? 1410 family pictures. And then I have families. So right now I'm just going to open all of those and let them upload. So as they're uploading, I will just wait because that's all we can do right now. Okay, so there is a way also that you can zoom in down here at the bottom, lets you zoom a little bit. I just want to zoom as much as possible, but where I can still see the whole picture, just because it's easier to look at. So we're going to start with this one because there's quite a few things that need to be taken out and changed in this one. First of all, if you just click on the picture, it appears over here. And you can see they're roughly the same height. Like they should all fit. If you line them up, they should all be the same. Like one of them is not going to be a lot smaller than the rest. They should all be roughly the same height. So here's what we have to do. There's two different ways. This is an automatic cropping thing. When you slide it in, it crops your picture like that. So you can just slide in and try to get as much of the dogs out as possible, which is, I mean, you can easily do it right here. You see on the other side of Harris, there's nobody. Let me make it bigger. On the other side of him, there is maybe a tiny little paw that you can see, which I can still cut that out for sure. But there's no way I can get this dog away from Alice down here. So I'm going to have to, instead of worrying about it, I like to always, by the way, crop it where it's just above their head and just below their feet, whoever's lowest foot. And I will explain why I do that in just a second. But this part right here doesn't matter because we're going to have to go in and erase the background. So you click on the picture, edit photo, brings up this over here. And we want to do the BG remover, which means background remover. So it takes it a second always. I have found that the smaller your picture is, the faster it does it. So I sometimes like to make the picture smaller and then try to do it. Okay, so then once you get over here to the background remover, you have a brush size, which you can see it better on the dresses. And if you click, it erases wherever you click. If you click and drag, it erases wherever you click and drag. And so we just want, if you mess up though, you just click restore and then you do the same thing. What you just erased will now be restored. And you won't be able to see that line. Yeah, it's gone away. So then what you have to do, which I usually use it set to a pretty big thing first, and I go in and delete everything that's not really close. So like even the dog over here that I could have gotten out by cropping the photo, I just go ahead and take it out. If I'm going to be over here, I might as well do that. Then I use the zoom in. I want my brush size to be small. And you just roll your mouse to zoom in, and I get as close as I can. And then instead of dragging, I just go as close as I can to her skirt. Now we're zoomed in, so you can tell that there's still some brown like on the edge right here. But when you zoom out, especially when she's in a group with a bunch of other people, that is not going to be noticeable. So I do like to zoom in and get it out as much as possible. But again, it's not going to be super noticeable, so I don't spend a ton of time doing it. And then I'm finished, and I just hit the back button, and it brings me back over here where they look just like they did before in their picture. So it doesn't matter, like I said, side to side crop, but I would like to keep it down just to, because when you get a bunch of pictures in here, it's going to be a problem. So now let's look at somebody that does not have to be edited. Oh, and by the way, I did make them smaller. So what I like to do then is go in here and again, get the cropped sides just as close as I can, just because it helps when I'm trying to line everything up. And I'll show you what that means when I'm lining them up. There are so many snap points though that you might have to wiggle the picture around a little bit. Okay, so now do you see that it makes a line telling me that I've lined up their feet along the same line? It's like a snap point line. But I want to make sure their heads are the same. So I just do this until it also snaps. So now I know that all these people are the same height. And then I can slide Alice as far behind whoever this person, she's a Summer, that's all I know. But I can slide her as far behind as I want. I can move it over here where the little boy is completely in front of Harris. So whoever's back there, that's usually what I do, not necessarily for Harris, because I like for my whoever the heir is to be kind of in the middle, like, and visible. But you can move it around and manipulate it however you want, so it looks like they're standing in a large group. And you can also do it like this and put them in rows, which is what I think I may end up doing for the group picture, because I just don't know how I'm going to get everybody in here. So the other thing I do is I put all the purples together as I am making them, and they're going to have to be much smaller. So I usually do them the way I want. Then I line up their feet and make sure they're all sized down the right size. So this is our main house. I'm just going to put them right there in the middle for now, and I'm going to start putting the purples to the side, and I'm going to try to get all the purples in here first. So I just look at my pictures over to the side, and everybody that's purple, I bring them in, except I need to try to remember the purple family I've already done. Okay, there they are. And then I just put everybody out here, like I said, and then I go through. Oh, let me show you this. So we have this rando dude that doesn't belong in our family yet. I mean, he will eventually, but not yet. So these are all the purple families, by the way, and they're all huge. Remember those big lines that were around them? So I always, I didn't even get everybody. I make it smaller and put them to the side, and it doesn't matter like if they're exactly the right height right now or anything, because I already have my standard up here at the top, and that's what I'm going to use for right now. So let me see if I can do this. I cannot. So we're going to have to go in, because I also need this guy to be gone. Oh, maybe I can get him. Well, almost. I can almost get him completely out, but I cannot get this dog out without eating into Kenrick and part of his body. So we're going to go back over and edit this video in the background remover and get out that new weird guy who has joined our family and the dogs. Oh, also, if I'm erasing like a whole person, you can make this brush size much larger and just erase this whole thing. Now, there are some editing tools over here that are part of the paid thing on Canva, but I do have the paid version because I use it for so many things. However, I am almost positive that this tool, the background remover, is usable even without the paid version. So I have my Whitlocks, and I just noticed that my dog is showing back up sometimes, but he's not going to be there in the final picture. Also, I have it not showing us the original image, but you can have it on, especially if you're going to redo some part of the picture and you want to just be precise about the part of the picture that you're redoing or whatever, then maybe you do want to have the picture on. I just had it turned off so I can see what we're looking at. Okay, now there's no dog in the picture, right? Okay, still no dog in the picture. So again, I put it as close as I can get it, and I see it's trying to lock onto those over there, so I have to move it over here by itself. And I have the feet and the head as close as I can get it. I move it up here and line it up with the feet or the head of one of them, shrink it till it matches, and put it over here. Now, you see let me show you this part. He's covering up our little guy, and we just said that we could put him in the front. That is literally just a position situation. So you click on the one you want and you say move forward, and then there you go, he's in front. And that's it. That is how you do all of the pictures. So now, of the 31 families, I've now done 3 of them, and so I am going to go through and do all the rest of the families, and then I will be back once I have everybody, erased and moved wherever they're supposed to be. I will see you in a second. Okay, this one is a little bit unusual, so I wanted to show you about it. Show you what I do about it. So I'm going to erase the dogs like normal. Okay, and then we're just left with these two people. So what you want to do over here, because we want them to be closer together, is you're going to duplicate this picture. And in one picture, you're going to completely get rid of that. I think that is Lewis Chaucer. So you're going to completely get rid of him and crop this down to where you're just looking at Winifred and the baby. And then in this picture, you're going to completely crop out Winifred. Whoops. So that you're just looking, so you just have Lewis and the baby. And then they can stand really close together and you have this whole family right here in this really nice spot. Now, you can see that there's a little bit of the dog left right here. But what you can do is when you're putting them with other people, because they're all going to be together, you just make sure this girl is in front and then she's blocking it. The same thing right here. It was just the two of them in this picture, and I was like, I'm not taking the time to crop this dog out. So you can see a tiny bit of a paw right there. That will completely be covered up when I put the other person that's going to be next to them right there, because you can see that his foot is definitely going to cover up whatever was down there in that picture, and nobody is going to be able to see it. So that is what I do if there is a family. And then, then I group them so that they are again one family, so I can more easily move them around. But anyway, I'm still putting people up here and going through and erasing dogs. Now, also, I might do the same thing right here. I might actually erase her from one of the pictures and then do another picture and erase everybody but her so that I can get them all closer together. Because what I have learned is if I can get these families as close as possible, then it will make it much easier when I am moving them around and trying to get them all lined up together. So I always bring them down here at the bottom to do the cropping so that it won't get stuck. And if I leave the picture this small size, I feel like the background remover works faster, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, and then I click on it and then it makes it as big as I want it to be. So I'll get rid of the dogs, and I think I will get rid of her. I can't remember her name. I think that's Lenata, actually. And if I get her out of the middle, then I can move mom and dad closer to each other. And I would do that exactly the same way. Like let me get rid of this dog. Make a copy and do it exactly the same way that I just did on the Chaucer family. Okay, there we go. So you can see that I took the picture from looking like this with the dogs, even the dogs like cropped out some, and how big the family was, down to this. And so we still can see everybody, but they just take up a lot less space like this. So I actually did 3 different pictures. So I did one of just the girl, and then I did one with mom and the baby, and then one with dad and the baby. And so they're much smaller now. And then I grouped them all together where, I have to make them smaller, where I can just move them around and put them wherever I want. So anyway, I'm still going through purple families. This takes forever. That's why I start with the purple and the yellow, because they're the biggest families. And then I feel better as I get to the blue and the red, because there aren't as many. Okay, so now I have broken down, or not broken down, but split up where everybody lives. This is our Romanian family, this is our family in Scotland, this is our Irish family, and then this is everybody that lives in England. And so I have kind of squished them all together as much as possible. I noticed this big gap right here, and I thought about, this is one family, and they look like this. So I thought about going through and like cutting right here and moving these two people over like on top of them. And so I think that's what I'm going to do. That's going to bother me, having that big gap right there. So that is going to be one of the pictures. And then the other one is going to look like this. And then I will bring them down and they can be right there, which means everybody can scoot over. And I know I'm covering up that kid, but then I will just click on this and say go backwards. There we go. All right. So now I don't look at that gap whenever I see it. But this is our purple family that lives in England. This is a lot of them. So that's really cool. And then this is our Irish family. I am so sad about the glasses. That really makes me angry because I thought that I was doing a good job of taking the glasses off of everybody that it wants to automatically put on there. But clearly I did not do a good job about it, and I'm sad. But anyway, so that I think is going to do it. I think that explains to you everything that I do when I'm doing pictures and how I use the software and how I get the pictures here. If you still have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. I can make another video about some of the other questions that you might have, or if there's anything else that you want to know about making a I don't know, UDC and Ultimate Decades playthrough or LP. If you just have any questions at all about it, then let me know. I will be happy to do it. Somebody did ask about an MC Command Center, like playing the UDC with only MC Command Center and UI cheats, and that being the only two mods that you have, or playing it completely vanilla. So I thought I would just go through and give people some options about what you guys can do if that's the way that you want to play it. But I am going to go continue with the rest of our families. I've got to add all the rest of the colors and get everybody in here and ready for new pictures for this year. So thank you so much for watching again. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.